Quick question. What's the richest city in Africa? If you said Johannesburg, you're technically correct. For now. If you said Lagos or Cairo, you're thinking big populations equal big money, which, cute logic, but wrong. And if you said Dubai, congratulations, you failed geography. Dubai's in the UAE, not Africa. Yes, I've seen the comments on my other videos. But here's the thing that's about to blow your mind. The richest city in Africa right now isn't going to be the richest city in Africa by 2030. In fact, there's a coastal paradise that's quietly stealing millionaires, billionaires, and entire corporate headquarters faster than you can say semigration. And no, I didn't stutter. I said semigration, not emigration. And I'll explain why that word is reshaping an entire continent's wealth map. This city has better ocean views than Miami, cheaper luxury real estate than London, and a millionaire growth rate that's making economists question their projections. Meanwhile, Africa's current wealth capital is hemorrhaging rich people at a rate that would make any mayor panic. The craziest part? Most people, even Africans, have no idea this wealth transfer is happening. They're still stuck thinking about Africa through a 1990s documentary lens, while an entire city is becoming the Monaco of the Southern Hemisphere. Intro music and graphics. I'm Your Name, and today we're exposing Africa's best-kept wealth secret, the billionaire migration nobody's talking about, and why the city that's about to become Africa's richest isn't where you think it is. If you make it to the end, I'll tell you exactly how much a $1 million property actually gets you in this city versus New York, London, or Paris. Spoiler, you'll want to book a flight immediately. So hit that subscribe button because we're about to take you inside the wealth capital of Africa's future. And trust me, you've been sleeping on this place. Let's start with the reigning champion, the city everyone thinks of when they hear rich Africa. Johannesburg, the city of gold. Home to $11,700 millionaires, 2 billionaires, and the largest stock exchange on the continent. Sounds unbeatable, right? Wrong, because Johannesburg has a problem, a massive millionaire-shaped problem. Johannesburg is bleeding wealth, not metaphorically, literally hemorrhaging rich people. The city's millionaire population has declined by 35% over the past 10 years. Think about that. While most cities are trying to attract wealthy residents, Johannesburg is watching them pack up their Bentleys and leave in droves. The richest square mile in Africa, that's Sandton by the way, where all the fancy shopping centers and corporate headquarters live, is experiencing what locals call semigration. That's when South Africans don't leave the country, they just move from one part of South Africa to another. Specifically, they're moving from Johannesburg and Pretoria down to the coast. And where are they going? Well, hold that thought, because that's exactly where this story gets interesting. Let's talk about what's driving this exodus. Johannesburg, despite being the economic powerhouse of Africa, has some issues. Service delivery is declining, load shedding, that's scheduled power outages for those who don't know, has become a regular part of life. Crime rates are concerning enough that rich residents are building estates that look like fortresses. When your neighborhood needs military-grade security just to feel safe, that's a problem. And here's the kicker. The JSE, the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, Africa's largest, is watching companies prepare to move their headquarters, not to London or New York or Singapore, to another city in South Africa. The corporate headquarters are literally packing up and leaving, and they're not even leaving the country. The rich suburbs, Sandton, Waterkloof, Hyde Park, are still magnificent, don't get me wrong. If you want to see what African wealth looks like, Johannesburg still delivers. But when your rich people are actively planning their exit strategy, that's not a growth story. That's a warning sign. So where are they going? Where's the South African wealth heading? And more importantly, why is this migration pattern about to completely reshape Africa's economic map? Because the answer isn't just another city. It's a lifestyle revolution that's attracting millionaires from 3 continents. Stay with me. Cape Town. Yes, that Cape Town. The one with Table Mountain, the penguins, and the Instagram-perfect beaches. But if you think Cape Town is just a pretty tourist destination, you're about to get a serious education in how real billionaires really think. Because while tourists are taking selfies at the waterfront, the ultra-wealthy are quietly buying up the city. Let me hit you with some numbers that should wake you up. Cape Town's millionaire population has grown by 33% in the past decade. Not declined, grown by a third. While Johannesburg is losing millionaires, Cape Town is collecting them like Pokemon cards. Currently, Cape Town has 8,500 millionaires, 35 centimillionaires, that's people worth over 100 million each, and already has more of these ultra-wealthy residents than Johannesburg. Let me repeat that. Cape Town has more centimillionaires and billionaires than Johannesburg. The only reason Johannesburg still ranks number 1 is because it has more regular millionaires, but that gap is closing fast. By 2030, Cape Town is projected to overtake Johannesburg as Africa's wealthiest city. That's not speculation. That's based on current migration trends, corporate relocations, and investment patterns. We're talking about 5 years from now. That's less time than most people take to pay off a car loan. But here's what makes Cape Town special. It's not just attracting South African millionaires fleeing Johannesburg. It's becoming a magnet for wealthy Europeans, Africans from other countries, and even some Americans who are tired of paying $10 million for a decent apartment in Manhattan. The neighborhoods are ridiculous. We're talking Clifton, Bantry Bay, Camps Bay. These are Cape Town's prime 7 suburbs where prime real estate averages $5,800 per square meter, which might sound expensive until you realize that's about 102,000 Rand per square meter, which in Cape Town money gets you ocean views, modern luxury, and year-round perfect weather. The lifestyle is unbeatable. Cape Town sits at the tip of Africa where 2 oceans meet, surrounded by mountains that would make Switzerland jealous. The weather is Mediterranean perfect, the food and wine scene, oh, we'll get to that. And like Johannesburg, Cape Town has something that matters to rich people more than anything else: governance that actually works. Quick pause here. Have you ever been to Cape Town? And if you have, did you have any idea this wealth transformation was happening? Drop a comment because I'm genuinely curious how many people are sleeping on this place. And if you're enjoying this deep dive into African wealth, smash that like button so YouTube stops hiding my videos. But wait, there's more. Because Cape Town isn't just one city getting rich, it's an entire region. The Cape Wineries, the Whale Coast, the Garden Route, these areas surrounding Cape Town are experiencing wealth growth that's making international investors lose their minds. Let me explain why billionaires are buying wine farms. The Cape Wineries, Stellenbosch, Franschhoek, Paul, this region is basically if Napa Valley and the French Riviera had a baby and that baby spoke with a South African accent. The winelands have seen a 42% increase in millionaire residents over the past decade. It's home to 3,600 millionaires and 3 billionaires who decided that owning a wine estate is the ultimate flex. These aren't just wine farms where grapes happen to grow. We're talking about luxury estates with names like Val de Vie, Des Alzes, and Domaine des Anges, where the farmhouse has 8 bedrooms, a helipad, and probably better Wi-Fi than your apartment. Many of these estates are owned by ultra-wealthy individuals who retire there because apparently when you have $100 million, your retirement plan involves becoming a wine baron. Then there's the Garden Route. This stretch of coastline from Mossel Bay to Storms River that features places like Plettenberg Bay, Knysna, and Wilderness. The Garden Route has 3,200 millionaires, up 30% in the past decade. The area has luxury eco-estates that cost more than most people's lifetime earnings, with names like Fancourt, Pazula, and Pinnacle Point. These are gated communities where your neighbor might be a retired CEO and your morning jog includes ocean views that look photoshopped. The Whale Coast, yes, it's called that because you can literally watch whales from your balcony during migration season, has seen a 50% increase in millionaires. Hermanus, the main town, has become a retirement haven for rich South Africans who sold their Johannesburg properties and realized they could buy luxury oceanfront for the same price as a townhouse in Sandton. What's driving all this is not just pretty views, though those help. It's that the Western California province, where all these areas are located, has better governance, more reliable power, lower crime rates, and the quality of life that rich people are willing to pay premium prices for. When your daily concern is which wine estate to visit for lunch, you're living differently than when you're worried about load shedding and home invasions. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, so rich people like Cape Town, so what? But here's why this matters more than you think, and why this is about way more than just millionaires moving houses. The economic implications of this wealth transfer is about to reshape not just South Africa, but how the entire world views African cities. Keep watching. Let's talk money, real money, because here's where Cape Town goes from being a nice place to live to an absolute steal compared to every other luxury city on Earth. And I'm about to show you numbers that will make you question why you're paying rent in New York or London. In Cape Town, $1 million will buy you approximately 200 square meters of residential property. That's about 2,150 square feet. A decent-sized luxury apartment or townhouse with ocean views. Now, let's compare. That same $1 million gets you 33 square meters in New York, 34 square meters in London, 43 square meters in Paris, 44 square meters in Sydney, and 17 square meters in Monaco. Let me put that in perspective. In Monaco, $1 million gets you a closet with a view. In Cape Town, it gets you a lifestyle. But it's not just about space. Cape Town's prime real estate includes some of Africa's most exclusive neighborhoods. Clifton, with its 4 beaches that are protected from wind and perfect for year-round beach life. Bantry Bay, perched on the slopes of Lion's Head with views that would make California jealous. Camps Bay, where the Atlantic Ocean meets white sand beaches and the restaurant scene rivals any major city. Constantia, where the wine estates are located within the city limits and your morning commute might involve driving past vineyards that have been producing wine since 1685.
Bishop's Court, where old money lives quietly in estates hidden behind massive trees and security that makes Fort Knox look casual. Foreign buyers are flooding in. Europeans are buying second homes. Wealthy Africans from Nigeria, Kenya, and Egypt are investing. Even some Americans are waking up to the fact that Cape Town offers better weather than Los Angeles, better food than San Francisco, and better value than anywhere in Florida. The property market is booming so hard that Cape Town now has Africa's most expensive prime real estate, averaging $5,800 per square meter in sought-after areas. That's still a fraction of what you'd pay in London, Paris, or New York, but it's growing fast. And here's the kicker. Henley & Partners expects several major Johannesburg-based companies to move their head offices to Cape Town over the next decade. When corporations move, jobs follow. When jobs follow, money follows. When money follows, more development happens. It's a wealth cycle that's just getting started. All right, be honest in the comments. Knowing what you know now, would you rather own a 33 square meter apartment in New York or a 200 square meter property in Cape Town with ocean views? I'll wait. And while you're typing, let me tell you about something even crazier that nobody's talking about. Here's what makes this story bigger than just 2 cities competing for millionaires. Cape Town's rise is proving something that challenges every stereotype about African cities, and it's opening doors for other cities across the continent that are paying attention. For decades, the narrative about African cities has been development, aid, poverty, infrastructure challenges, and yes, those issues exist. But Cape Town is writing a completely different story. It's saying African cities can compete for global wealth. They can offer luxury, governance, lifestyle, and opportunity that rivals anywhere on Earth. Africa is home to 135,200 high net worth individuals with liquid investable wealth exceeding $1 million, along with 342 centimillionaires and 21 billionaires. That's $2.5 trillion in investable wealth on the continent. And increasingly, that wealth is staying in Africa and moving between African cities rather than fleeing to Europe or America. Look at the pattern. Cape Town, Kigali, Windhoek, Nairobi, Tangier, and Marrakesh are all projected to experience 85+ millionaire growth over the next decade. These cities are learning from Cape Town's playbook. Good governance, lifestyle offerings, safety, and opportunities attract and retain wealth. Nairobi, Kenya's capital, is the Silicon Savannah with a booming tech scene. Kigali, Rwanda, is spotlessly clean with ambitious development plans. Marrakesh is attracting wealthy retirees from Europe and the Middle East. Mauritius has positioned itself as an offshore financial hub with tax advantages. These cities are competing not just with each other, but with traditional wealth destinations globally. Cape Town's success is proving that African cities don't need to copy London or New York. They can offer something different. Better weather, lower cost of living, unique cultures, and lifestyles that wealthy people increasingly value over cramped, expensive apartments in cold cities. The brain drain that has plagued Africa for decades might be slowing. When wealthy Africans can live luxuriously in Cape Town, Nairobi, or Kigali instead of moving to London or New York, that changes everything. When international investors see African cities as places to live and invest long-term, not just places to extract resources from, that's a paradigm shift. But let's bring this back to the main story, because I promised you I'd explain what makes Cape Town the city that nobody knows about. And here's the brutal truth that might make this entire video make sense. The richest city in Africa nobody knows about isn't unknown because it's hidden, it's unknown because people's perception of Africa is stuck in the past, and the media isn't helping. Let me explain. The disconnect is, when people think of African cities, they still think of safaris, slums, and charitable donations. The idea that you could live in an African city with better quality of life, safer streets, more reliable infrastructure, and more natural beauty than most Western cities doesn't compute for many people. I've had conversations where I mention Cape Town's wealth growth, and people literally don't believe the numbers. They can't reconcile Africa with millionaire magnet and luxury real estate boom. The mental image doesn't match the reality. Meanwhile, Dubai, which is literally in a desert, successfully marketed itself as a luxury destination and people bought it. Singapore transformed itself from a trading port to a global financial center in one generation. These cities rewrote their narratives. Cape Town is doing the same, but fighting against decades of negative media coverage about the entire continent. Here's what people don't see. Cape Town has world-class restaurants that would compete with any Michelin-starred establishment. The wine region produces wines that win international competitions. The tech scene is growing with successful startups. The arts and culture scene is vibrant. The natural beauty, Table Mountain, the beaches, the winelands, is unmatched. The governance, while not perfect, is significantly better than in many major cities. The infrastructure works, the airport is modern, the internet is fast, you can drink the tap water. These sound like basic things, but they matter immensely for quality of life. The crime narrative that dominates international coverage is real in some areas, but dramatically overstated for the wealthy suburbs where millionaires live. Those neighborhoods have security that makes gated American communities look quaint. The wealthy in Cape Town live in what amounts to luxury compounds with private security, same as wealthy people do in Los Angeles, Sao Paulo, or Mumbai. What Cape Town offers that's unique is the combination. First world infrastructure, developing world prices, perfect climate, stunning natural beauty, and a lifestyle that prioritizes quality of life over hustle culture. For wealthy people, especially retirees or those who can work remotely, it's near perfect. But because the perception gap exists, Cape Town remains Africa's best-kept wealth secret. And honestly, some people moving there prefer it that way. When everyone rushes to the same destinations, they get overcrowded and expensive. Cape Town is still in that sweet spot where it's discovered enough to have excellent infrastructure and services, but not so discovered that it's lost its character or priced everyone out. So let's bring it all together. The richest city in Africa nobody knows about isn't actually some hidden village or secret compound. It's a world-class coastal city that's been right in front of us the whole time. We just weren't paying attention. Now you are. See you in the next one.